Hi, Steve Woods here. Welcome to another ASP.NET tutorial in the Let's Build series. This one's going to be a little bit different to the previous ones in that we're actually going to live code a website as if a client had come to us with a requirements document, something that we could build in the real world, rather than me having a sort of a pre-built template that you kind of just follow through and me explaining the code. So yeah, we're actually going to build something. And the reason for that is this tutorial is actually for my son Josh. Hello. He's currently learning HTML and CSS, and he's getting to the point where he knows enough to sort of get by, and I want to take him to the next level and basically show him how he could build a dynamic website with a database behind it. So again, if a client came to him in a professional capacity, he could interpret their requirements document and build kind of a real world site. This is essentially what we're going to be doing. So let's dig in. If you go to my GitHub page to get started, which is github.com/woods, you will see a picture of me, but in the repositories tab you will also see this that I've already set up. This is Final Whistle. Now, because Josh is absolutely football crazy, I figured the best way to get him get his interest peaked would be to do something around football. So that's what we're going to do. And before I get in, I'm going to put my glasses on because I can't see. HD, right, there we go. So as you can see on this page, I've actually set up a HTML and CSS template because there's no point in me spending hours going through how to build an HTML and CSS template. If you're not up on HTML and CSS, it doesn't particularly matter for this tutorial, but there are millions of others online that you can go and kind of learn how to do a nice design. I've just basically taken that step for you, so we're all on the same page as we run through this tutorial, and you'll have something to work on that looks kind of like a real site rather than an unstyled one, because you know, I figure if I'm going to teach something, then it's nice to see a sort of a professional result rather than an unstyled page with things all over the place. So we'll all be on the same page, and hopefully at the end of this tutorial we'll end up with something that looks like something we could hand over to a client, and they'll be pretty happy with it because it looks alright. So we'll get to that in a minute. What I've done is I've created a project here which is basically an overview of what we're going to be doing, and I'll just read it to you now. You can probably read it yourself, but I'm going to do it anyway for the purpose of the video. So this will be a series of videos showing how to create a basic ASP.NET MVC website using a database to store football teams, their match results and reports on each match, much like the BBC website, the BBC Sport website. As the project goes on, I'll explain how to use the data that we enter to display a more comprehensive screens such as all matches by a team, all matches between two teams, and then how to generate a league table based on the match scores that get entered. So we're kind of going to build it and then extend it and do more and more cool stuff. So this is going to be the outline for what we're going to be doing. So like I say, I've created the template already. I'll give you the link in a second. And video one is this one. This is the introduction. So I'm going to go over basically what it is that we're building. So done that. And then I'm going to give you links to the downloadable project with CSS files, etc. already set up. Now I'm going to add to that. What you want to do is you want to go to ASP.NET, www.asp.net, download Visual Studio 2015, which is the software that we're going to use to actually create this website, and you need it basically because that's the software that I've used to create this template that we're going to be working from. So go ahead, download that, install it, and when you have finished doing that, you can then come back to my GitHub page, Final Whistle, and then click on this green button here, clone or download. Download this zip file, download it to your desktop, then extract it somewhere, and go to Visual Studio and open the solution file. You will then end up with a thing looking something like this. You can see we've got a Final Whistle solution. There's some images in there, we've got some style sheets, we've got some basic controllers, we have a couple of views which are our HTML files. Basically all you need to get started, and if you press run, I've already got it running, but if you click on the green arrow at the top there, it'll run it, and your browser should open with something that looks like this. So this is what we're going to create. Like I say, it's kind of a basic template, but it looks alright. So we've got a latest match. We're going to have, obviously this is going to be dynamically generated later on down the line, but this is basically what our match reports are going to look like, and I've set up a basic template for the admin area as well, so when we're actually entering data we'll have a nice interface which we will also build throughout this tutorial. We'll have a nice interface that we can use to add new information into the database. So go ahead, download Visual Studio, get it installed, then come back to this page, download the template, and we will then crack on. So if you want to pause the video, feel free, but for now we're going to head back into the project and we're going to see what it is that we're going to be doing throughout the rest of the tutorial. So we've done video 1, cut, or not quite. I'm just going to run through everything. The next video will be setting everything up, so we'll jump into Visual Studio and I'll show you how to create a database, show you how to create a link between a match and a match report, and I'll show you how to use technology called Link to SQL. Now, Link to SQL, it was kind of a tough call to use this for this tutorial, but well, the reason being it's obsolete. Although I say obsolete, it's just not used. Microsoft are kind of promoting a tool called Entity Framework, which is another sort of database technology that allows you to access the database from your web applications. But it's kind of, in my opinion, it's a little bit further on. And Link to SQL, or Link to SQL, whatever you want to call it, allows you to kind of visually represent or visually see the database tables, so you can sort of visually see how they're linked together. And in terms of teaching someone how to create a basic database, in my eyes, it's much easier than having to do it in code, because it's just, if you're not familiar with the code anyway, then it's not going to really make much sense. But if you can visually see how the tables join together, then you might get an idea of how a database actually works, and then how the actual code works. It might make a little bit more sense. So I am going to use Link to SQL, Link to SQL, and I'll show you how that all works. Now, the next video will be where we actually we have the database already set up from the prior video, but we will then start entering the teams and the match results, and obviously I'll basically show you how to do that in terms of like the admin area, and we'll see how that actually gets chucked into the database, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on in the back end. The next video we'll extend that even further to create the actual match report. So if you imagine the match report is, well, it's a report on a match that you've already entered. So, but that's a little bit more in depth because there's going to be more data going into the database, and it's important that we get things right. We need to validate things and make sure that we're not entering junk information that can cause problems for our application. So that'll be video 4. In video 5, we will go back to the front end of the website, which would be the yellow bit, and we'll start pulling the information from the database into the actual website, which would be client facing. That would be the bit that you see on the front end if you were browsing the web, whereas in the previous videos when we're entering the information, it'll be in this red zone here, which we would only have access to, and no sort of public, it wouldn't be public facing. And we'll set up like different pages to kind of display information in different ways. We might actually have a page with all of the matches that we can then click through to view a specific match, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to link all the pages and stuff together as well. The next stage, which would be video 6, I don't know why I've called it stage 6, video 6, doing cool stuff with the data. Now, because we're going to be entering scores and things in, we could actually generate a list of all of the teams that we enter, and we could order them by we could sort of calculate a league table based on the amount of goals they've scored, the goal difference, and the number of wins and draws and losses and things that they've had. So that'll be the final video where we actually take our data that we've entered and we use it for something that's completely different that we never really thought we would do, because all we were going to be doing was just entering match reports. But what we can actually do is enhance the website, take that data and put it in a nice format that we can do cool stuff with, and actually see visually how the match reports and match results affect the position of a team in the table. So again, pretty standard stuff that you would find on the BBC Sport website, but if a client was to come to you with these type of requirements, it can't be bad to know how to do it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run through it, and hopefully you'll enjoy this tutorial. But again, first thing you need to do is go to ASP.net, download Visual Studio 2015, get it installed, get it opened, download the project from github.com/woods/final whistle, click the clone or download button, download zip, extract it from your desktop. Oops, that's my water. Extract it to your desktop, open it up in Visual Studio, press the play button at the top here, and then you will be in the browser, and I will see you in video 2. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, please click the thumbs up icon, maybe subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, cheers.